Hello and welcome to Dishing Delights. My name is Jenica and today I'm going to share with you 3 more shelf-stable pantry meals. Let's get into it. The oven is ready for us, so we're going to start making our biscuits. We're going to make biscuits and sausage gravy. I have never tried this before, but I saw this in the store and I was like, this will be perfect for this video. So let's get to making our biscuits. To start off, we are going to take 2 cups of flour. We are going to toss that into our bowl. I'm also going to add 1 tablespoon of sugar, 1 tablespoon of baking powder, and 1 teaspoon of salt. I'm going to mix all of those dry ingredients together, and then we'll add 1/3 cup of oil and 2/3 cup of water. You can also use milk, but I don't want to get the powdered milk out, and I don't mind it if it's just water. Let's add in that water. And that oil. We're gonna mix it together until it's just slightly combining. You do not want to overwork your biscuits. I'm going to go in with just my hands now. Make sure that it is fully combined. I'm going to roll it out until it is 1 inch thick. And now I have a lightly greased baking dish, and I'm going to cut our biscuits. These are going to be pretty decent sized biscuits. Now usually I do all stovetop. If you are in an emergency situation, you can cook these on the stovetop. I believe we did that in one of our first shelf-stable pantry meals. But if you have access to an oven, like I do today, I'm just going to bake these up. If you were going to do these on a stovetop, I would recommend you do them at a little lower heat. I have the oven at 425 right now. We got 4 beautiful ones and 2 ugly biscuits, I call them, but these are always my go-to. Alright, I'm going to toss these in the oven, start the gravy, and clean up my workspace. Alright, so far, I'm unsure about the smell, but we're going to add in this can. We're just going to heat this up while those biscuits bake. Now this is warm. I'm going to set this aside, and the biscuits have 4 more minutes left. Clearly the inside of my oven door needs some cleaning, but look how delicious and fluffy those are. Got a couple minutes left. Here is the sausage gravy, and here are our delicious, fluffy, perfectly browned biscuits. Now I am going to take one of the ugly biscuits. Now if you have some butter on your countertop, that would be great to use. Biscuit fell apart, but that's perfectly fine. Ooh, nice and fluffy inside. Let me show you one of these ones. Isn't that beautiful? And then I'm going to load this up with some gravy. And that is the shelf-stable breakfast. So delicious. Now I am going to take a bite just to see if it's good. That's pretty tasty. A little bit of pepper, and this will be an amazing treat. The next meal I am going to make is tamales with black beans and rice. And this time I cooked my rice a little bit differently. I added 4 cups of water to my pot. I brought that pot up to a boil, and then once my water was boiling, I added in some salt and my 2 cups of rice. I stirred that in and then made sure that my water was back up to a simmer where it's just slightly bubbling, and then I covered my pot, let the rice cook for 17 minutes until it was absolutely perfect. I fluffed it with a fork. For reference, this method calls for 2 cups of liquid per 1 cup of rice, and it comes out perfect every single time. You can add some butter to your rice if you would like to. I chose not to do that this time, but once my rice is cooked, I'm going to heat up my black beans until they are hot. I will set those aside, and then I'm going to cook up my hormel tamales after that. Now this is my first time trying these hormel tamales, and honestly I was shocked at how good these were. They aren't like fresh tamales, obviously, but in an emergency food situation I would be thrilled to have these in a pinch. So I think I'm going to be grabbing about a half dozen of these and throw them onto my shelves. The black beans, they were also delicious. I haven't canned my own black beans yet. I have a few cans on the shelf from the store. So once I use those up, I'm going to can my own. And this really inspired me to add some seasoned black beans with some jalapenos, some onion, some garlic, and put those onto my shelf. Now me and my husband both really enjoyed this meal. I wasn't sure if I was going to like either the black beans or the tamales, but it turned out absolutely delicious. So this is a meal that I would definitely make again. Obviously, it's very sodium rich, but that's just what you get with these shelf-stable pantry meals. For the final meal of this episode, we are going to make some chicken and black bean tacos. All right, let's make some tortillas. So I have my corn masa here. I'm going to dump that into this bowl. I'm also going to mix in 1 teaspoon of salt. I'm gonna combine that. And then I have 2 cups of really warm, almost hot water. The recipe calls for 1.5 to 2 cups. So I'm going to put in 1.5 cups, and then we'll go from there. This is the Azure Standard white corn masa. This is the first time that I'm trying this out. Oh, this smells amazing. So we are going to make some chicken and black bean tacos. I know that Tex-Mex food is like my go-to, but it's just my favorite thing ever. So in these videos, I tend to stick with Tex-Mex style food. But this is the first time I'm making some tortillas out of this white corn masa. I'm going to go in there with my hands. Now I'm going to let that kind of sit there and combine for a bit. Set it aside. I am going to rinse and drain this can of black beans. I'm going to drain this can of chicken breast. And then I'm going to let those simmer together on the stove. I have some dried red pepper flakes. I have some dehydrated tomatoes and my taco seasoning. And we're just going to season this up until it's to our liking. All right, for this, I'm just going to take my drained black beans, add those in, add my can of chicken. I'm going to break this up. I'm going to add about a tablespoon of red pepper flakes. I'm going to toss in some of my dehydrated tomatoes, some taco seasoning. Just for fun, I'm going to add some dehydrated jalapenos as well, just for a kick. I'm going to add about a 1/4 cup of water, and then I'm just going to let this simmer on the stovetop. All right, now let's make some tortillas. I have my tortilla press right here, and I have my cast iron pan heating up on the stovetop. It says 2 tablespoon size balls. Maybe a little bit smaller than that. All right, that didn't work out how I would like it to, so I'm gonna see what I need to do. Maybe I need to add a little bit more water to the masa. All right, I was struggling with this masa, so I want you to leave your suggestions down below, especially if you've had the Azure standard corn, white corn masa, but I'm determined to figure this out. I was just struggling this day the first time I was using this. All right, I think we're getting somewhere. Maybe the key is parchment paper. It's supposed to be moist but not tacky. And I think that the dough is the right consistency. I'm just not sure. Maybe it is too wet. Maybe I shouldn't have added in like 1 3/4 cup like I did. Maybe we're just gonna have some small and thick ones. All right, here is the first shell, and there's our mixture. I'm going to just mix this up. I'm going to add another couple tablespoons of water to this.
Subtly worked into a couple of messages or comments, I should say. And yeah, what I've heard is that that Jagger being hospital is just a rumor. I don't know if that's...
All right, it is smoky in my house. So what I'm going to do is make a couple tacos. Now I need your suggestions on how to make tortillas out of white corn masa. I'm determined. September, that's gonna be my goal. I'm going to make sure that I am able to do that. So these are a little bit thicker than I would like, but honestly, they're going to be delicious. This is our seasoned mixture, very high in protein, and I'm just gonna make some little street tacos. Ooh, honestly, these look delicious. Now I do wish that this wasn't a shelf-stable pantry meal, because I would love to toss some sour cream on top. But what I do have is my Diablo packets. I've got quite the little stash going on here. So I'm going to take some of this Diablo, and I'm going to add some of that delicious hot sauce right on top of these tacos. And that is what's for dinner.